Welcome here to Runaway Bay Cricket Club for the 2017 Australia Championships Finals Day. First semi-final of the day, we have the Park Cricketers from the Gold Coast taking on their local Gold Coast rivals. We'll bat first. Going by their team name and are batting first, having lost the toss. Joined here today in the commentary booth with Travis Harker, the president of Runaway Bay Cricket Club. Welcome, Travis.
Welcome, Rob. Thank you. Beautiful day on the coast this morning. Didn't look like that last night, but ground looks like it's held up, looking amazing.
It's exceptional drainage at these grounds. It's an amazing facility here. Actually, it's all built on a former rubbish tip that's been reclaimed and turned into an amazing cricket venue. So it's a great story here at Runaway Bay. So both these teams in the semi-finals of the Australian Championships for the first time. The second game of the day, which will start at local time, Australian Gold Coast time, at 11:30 today, will be two seasoned LMS veterans, second 11 from Ipswich and Rock Lobsters from down at Wollongong. So second 11 are double national champions, while Rock Lobsters have been in the last two finals. So actually two of the last three finals. So that's probably the game where the two favourites are. These two are more the surprise package. Travis, what's your take? You're the local Gold Coast manager for Last Man Stands. What do you think on these two teams' chances?
Well, the Park Cricketers, depending on how big a night they've had at schoolies, they're all basically from 15 to 17 years old. Good young cricketers. Compared to Will Bat First, there are a few older blokes. Depending on how their legs are going, the young boys are going to have plenty of run in their legs still. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes down towards the end of each innings. Both teams bat very well and hit the ball pretty hard. Bowling, I think the Park Cricketers will have the stronger side. Looks like opening the bowling is Josh Khan, who on Sunday left one of their final games to bowl to the Australian Test side up at the Gabba. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Apparently he bowled Steve Smith out in the nets, didn't I hear?
He nicked him off. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with a two-piece in his hand. So
we have opening and batting here for Will Bat First. We've got Jordan Trigger Renault, who's a LMS veteran of some sorts in terms of the amount of games played. But I'd say he's only about 23 now, wouldn't you say?
He's 24. His body shape looks like he's 32. But being a local, plays for the local club here as well, so he knows the ground exceptionally well.
We have Blake Banham down the non-strikers end, opening the batting as well. What do you know about Blake, Trav?
Clubs it. Absolutely clubs it. And it's good to see they're starting off with the win first, so we could be in for some entertainment.
So there you go. So first ball just about to come up from Joshua Khan here with Jordan Renault on strike. First ball of the Australian Championship 2017 semi-final. It's wide down the leg side first up, so poor start there from Josh Khan. Jordan will be relieved to get off the mark on a crucial day for him. He's been talking up his chances quite a lot today, actually, Travis, and he's requested a few mentions, so we'll have to talk a bit about Jordan.
I'm probably the wrong person to talk about Jordan.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Looks like Carney's straight onto his length now.
As soon as he said it there, Trav.
Yes, I put the mocker on him. Commentator's curse.
Second wide in the over, so that one's worth three.
Big shape on the ball, but he's got that hooping in at the moment.
That's the direction the wind's coming from at the moment, so you could blame that on the wind going down the leg side. He's all over the place here at the moment in this first over. Josh Khan, he's yet to find his rhythm, so that's another wide. So Jordan Renault, without hitting a ball yet, moves on to 7 runs. Again, struggling to find his rhythm.
Geez, I talk Carney up and he's letting me down here.
So the score already moves on to just 10 runs without a ball being, 11 runs without a ball being hit. Last ball in the over, 5 ball overs here in last man stands. And again another wide, so a very disappointing first over from Josh Khan there. So 14 runs off the over, a bit of sledging coming in from the sidelines. So first over, 14 runs after one. So what do you think of that there, Travis? Is that young nerves, or is that the result of schoolies last night?
It might be a bit of nerves from the young fella on the big stage.
For those of you that don't know what schoolies is, Gold Coast is a famous holiday destination here in Australia, and once a year in November when all the high school students finish up, they all flock to Gold Coast and drink alcohol for the first time, so it gets a bit messy for some of them.
The young guys are off to a nervous start here. They're flat out landing it on the pitch.
It's Ellie Fahey bowling here. Ellie Fahey. Unorthodox starts. Placed himself there for the free hit, Jordan, but only manages to bunt it out the deep square leg.
It's actually good to see one come off the bat.
It's always important in cricket. So score moves on to 16 after 1.1 overs. So Blake Banham, first run off the bat for him. Gets hold of that a bit better, Jordan, but there's the deep square leg out there, so it'll just be a single. What do you know about Ellie Fahey, Trev?
He's a 15-year-old going to the school at TSS. He's playing first or second 11 for the school. He's playing grade cricket. He's in the Taverners side for the local grade competition, which is the under-17s.
Very talented young cricketer, it sounds like.
All the kids are. All these kids are playing some sort of form of rep cricket.
What a take there from Ali Fahey. Jordan Renaud got hold of it straight back at the bowler. Ali Fahey down low quickly. So the first wicket falls, 19 runs. Jordan Renaud falls for 14 runs off his 9th delivery. That was a fantastic take, Trev.
Young bloke's reactions. Young bloke reactions. It's already starting to see.
Seems to have a bit of your kind of technique with his bowling here. Did you do a bit of coaching there?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I try not to get wickets off full tosses.
As soon as we said that, it was Ali Fahey just finishes his over there. So that's 2 overs, and this is Casey Murphy coming on to bowl. What do we know about Casey?
He is playing the local competition for the Surfers Paradise Club. He's playing second grade there at the moment. Big, strong boy, and can sling him.
There you go, started 3rd over. Park cricketers having recovered well from the poor first over. Wicket in the second. Good shot straight back down the ground. It's first boundary of the day there from Blake Banham. Confident shot there.
A little bit of the taste of power that Blakey possesses there.
There we go, the full ball. There's another wicket there, so all kinds of pressure on Will bat first here. Just missed the straight one there, straight full ball. Good comeback there from Casey Murphy with second delivery. So 23 for 2 after 2.2. What are you thinking here, Trap? Both openers gone already.
The tradies actually fell for this yesterday. They bowled really well, these guys. They bowled tight lines. Batting opening up with the wind at their back. They're trying to go big from the go. It can backfire. You lose a couple of wickets quickly. If they're bowling well, it's hard to recover.
Well, they certainly recovered from that first over. That was a very good ball there from Casey Murphy. 3rd ball in the over, so 2 new batsmen at the crease. Neither of these guys have faced yet, so Coming on strike now is Adam Hyman, who is a very well-reputed LMS player. And then Zach Hollis at the non-strikers end. Adam Hyman, he's a great all-rounder, isn't he, Travis?
He's probably one of the better ones getting around on the Gold Coast in the LMS at the moment.
Another decent ball there from Casey Murphy. Adam Hyman off the mark to the offside. So here we go, Zach Hollis.
Big lump of a kid for a 15-year-old.
His nickname is Treadmill.
You'll see that later when he tries to run.
It's a bit of a change in the field here. Fine leg coming round to deep square leg. Solid first shot there from Zach Hollis. So he's a young lad as well then, this Hollis, is he, Travis?
Yeah, he's playing first grade in the local competition for the Surfers Paradise Club. I think he may just be 16 now. He can hit it a long way and bowls really well as well.
Out on the offside, it's not too wide. They managed to get a bye through to the keeper there. So with that, its third over is completed. The score is 26 for 2. 26 for 2 after 3 overs. So there's a lot of young talent on display in this game today then, Travis. It's quite interesting because there's a lot of LMS veterans around the comp, but it's the youngsters that have made it through to final stage here.
It's a little bit of a change in the guard on the Gold Coast with the LMS at the moment. A lot of the old guys are starting to give it away, and there's a lot of young kids and younger guys coming through and finding the game of LMS.
We have bounced it out to deep mid wicket there. We have a appearance here, which we may get him on just to say a few words about his innings in a moment. Just watch this ball. Goes out the long off there. So this is Ali Fahey back into the attack here. So we have Jordan Renault, who's just joined us briefly here.
Hey, boys.
Had a deep cover for another single there. So Jordan, what went on there? You got a good start with all those wides, and you know, what are your thoughts on that innings?
I just hit one back to the bowler, which was a good catch in the end, but hit it in the air.
Bit of nerves, was it? Australian Champs semi-final, opening the batting, huge expectations. Your reputation apparently precedes you.
Oh no pressure, just ability stopped me. And Eli's just bowled another straight break.
There we go. So 4 overs down, 29 for 2. Jordan, what are you thinking about your team's chances here?
As long as we get a score on the board, we should be able to bowl quite tight out there, nice and full with the wind. We've got a good bowling team. Batting's let us down, if anything, this comp. And the Park Readers, they're all coming back from school, so we should have a good chance.
By your own lofty LMS standards, are you happy with your tournament that you've had this year?
Keeping wise, I've kept alright, but the batting's let me down. It's sort of let the team down a little bit, but we've got enough depth to do a bit of a job.
So the depth would be Adam Hyman. Would he produce most of your runs, or who's? Adam's been batting quite well for us. He's been batting a long time. So that's Hyman who just hit the ball down to long off there. And this bowler is Casey Murphy. Again, strays down the leg side there. You'll be thankful for all these early wides here, Jordan. They're helping you out a bit.
Yeah, a lot. It's set a good field out there for the boys with the swing, obviously.
Ball's up in the air there, straight down, deep square legs, throat. And that's a third wicket, easily held down there. So Eli Fahey down at deep square leg takes the catch. Casey Murphy picks up his second wicket. So a bit of pressure on here with Will bat first, now 3 down for 31 runs early in the 5th over.
Javed Ahmed.
So Javed Ahmed coming into bat. So what do we know about Javed, Jordan?
Javed is one of the players who could hit a 6 first ball, or he could face 7 dots in a row and then get out. So
it's quite a contrast. What's his thinking there?
Hit the ball miles and it'll go far.
All right, so swing and miss.
Pretty much.
Well, let's hope he doesn't swing and miss here.
No, we'll be in a bit of trouble if he goes out. Then we have the captain Chris Nyland come in.
So Chris Nyland had a match-winning innings for you the other day, didn't he? Was it yesterday?
Yeah. No, it was the day before against the Punjab 11. It was much needed.
Crucial innings that was. So here we come. Third ball in the over here from Casey Murphy. Solidly defended. So that's the first of Jordan's predicted 7 dots, was it?
Yeah, pretty much. It'll be either 7 dots or a 6, and it was a dot.
There we go. Well,
and there's 6 bits.
6 bits there through long on's hands. Casey Murphy hit back over long on there. That could be a crucial drop in the end there early in Javed's innings. Would have been out for a duck off 2 balls there, but instead he's 6 off 2 balls.
Called the one yesterday, yeah, Josh.
So in case you didn't hear that eloquent language from the fielder there, he apparently didn't see that ball.
Alright.
Thanks, Jordan. So Jordan and I leaving us. Good luck with the keeping today, Jordan.
Cheers, Rob.
Travis Harker back. Javed into the offside there. Quickly back for 2. That's good running there. Excellent running from these two.
It's quite unusual for Javed to actually run.
So where does Javed play his cricket then?
On the Gold Coast. He's plays for a couple of teams on the Gold Coast. Loves his cricket. Loves his gym. I think it's Afghanistan he's from. He's reasonably new to the country as well, so he's finding some friends playing last man stands Gold Coast.
So he didn't come in through the Afghan Warriors team then?
Yes.
He did?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The team here on the Gold Coast called the Afghan Warriors. So I started the 6th over. It's on Adam Hyman's legs there. Just sees it to mid-wicket for a single. So that moves Hyman on to 5 runs. Javed down the strike now is on 8. Ali Fahey. The young lads are bowling well here. So Fahey picks up his 2nd wicket to join Casey Murphy on 2 wickets there. The LBW given by Andy Levitt, the umpire. He's from the Northern Rivers of New South Wales, the umpire. It's a new LMS region that's taken off very quickly. So now the pressure's beginning to come on. What do you think of the situation now, Travis? So the score's now 40 for 4 after 5.2 overs.
It's going to be interesting to see how Chris goes about it here. He likes to come in when the ball's a bit older and just knock it over the boundary line. Controversial LB there. It's very unusual to see a right arm spinner get an LB at bowling around the wicket. Just knowing how Chris bats, or his nickname is Fridge. Obviously, look at the size of him. He's one of these. He's got one of the oldest bats going around in the competition, I'd say, and it is an absolute cracker.
So Chris Nyland just eased it off his legs there to get off the mark. Crucial innings for the skipper here.
I think these two guys have got to play within themselves for another 5 or 10 overs just to give themselves a bit of a total to bowl to.
You say that they're both known more as hitters, these two, Hyman and Nyland, or are they able to knuckle down and?
Adam can anchor the innings. He's very strong off his legs and through covers, where Chris is more of a just club 'em.
He's paid a miss at that one there. So the pressure building a bit here. That's the end of the 6th over from Ellie Fahey, who's got very tight figures at the moment. 3 overs, 2 for 11. The batsman, the left-hander Adam Hyman, now on 6 runs. Chris Nyland, the skipper, 1 run off just 2 deliveries. Now we have a new bowler coming on, so this is Patrick Yelland. What do we know about Patrick?
He could arguably have one of the worst bowling actions that we'll see today. He's it's a mixed bag that what's going to come down this over.
Could be an interesting over then, this one. Important over in the context of the match. As Travis says, unorthodox technique, but he almost gets a wicket first ball off the leading edge from Adam Hyman. To the offside, score moves on to 43 after 6.1 overs.
Patrick's not actually well known for his bowling on the Gold Coast. He's a very good batsman.
Wide on the offside, goes out to backward point.
It looks like Will bat first are showing him a fair bit of respect, which is quite unusual. Patrick might not be used to this.
So you'd treat him a bit differently if you were batting out there?
Oh, of course.
A solid start here from Patrick Yelland. Just 3 singles off the first 3 deliveries in his over.
That's quite unusual. Usually there's a boundary in the first 3 balls, for sure.
Probably the pressure of the situation telling here. So up in the air there from Chris Nyland. It's coming down and it'll be safe at mid-wicket, just short of the fielder there. Is that the captain, Scott Palombo?
That is the captain.
Brilliant innings from Scott in the round of 16, I believe it was, when the rest of the guys got out, and he managed to go on and score about 75 not out to win the game for his team. Hyman down the ground, and that's a solid first over there from Patrick Yelland. He almost got a wicket with it, and only 4 runs off the over there from Patrick Yelland. So despite Travis's expert prediction or expert analysis, he's come off with a
looks like the big stage might be getting to the Will bat first guys, because in normal Sunday league, Patrick is dispatched.
Maybe it's the pressure of the cameras.
Sorry, I'm getting commented on by Pat from the sideline here. Well, I've already told the crowd that you have possibly the worst action they will see today.
So Patrick doesn't deny that he's got the worst action on display today. Start of the 8th over here, scores 47 for 4. It's a wide ball there.
A rare bad ball from Eli this morning.
It's the 4th over coming up here from Eli Fay. 2 for 12 so far as figures. Adam Hyman puts it out to extra cover. There'll just be the 1 there. Hyman moves on to 9.
You can already see the speed of the park.
10.
You can already see the speed of the park cricketers across the ground when they're fielding the ball. It's going to be interesting to see if the Will bat first guys can match that speed. There's a couple of bigger boys in the Will bat first side.
They'll definitely be the quickest fielding side on display today in the finals day, that's for sure. Defended there from Chris Nyland. He's been careful early on here. Apart from his slog to mid-wicket, then he almost got caught on. Just down to 3rd man there. Is it down there? It should be able to come back for 2. Pretty quick fielding, but he's home safely. So 2 more runs to Chris Nyland takes him on to 8, and that's a brilliant spell there from Eli Fay in a semi-final, coming on in the 2nd over after a loose first over from Josh Khan. He's ended up with figures of 4 overs, 2 for 18. So the score now after 8 overs, 54 for 4. Eli Fay, a huge part in that score. Well bowled, Eli.
It's quite unusual to hear that. Well bowled, Eli. It's quite unusual.
Hyman now on 10 not out. Takes strike. Yelland coming on to bowling in. On his legs, doesn't get hold of it. So Patrick Yelland, who we thought could be the one to go for a few runs here, is keeping it tight. Just 4 runs off 6 deliveries so far. So Hyman puts it out to mid-wicket for one. So Travis, can you tell us a bit about the history of Runaway Bay and your involvement with it?
My involvement, I started playing for the club as a kid in 1989. The club was actually situated at Paradise Point then.
That was very lucky there from Chris Nyland, went straight through him.
We moved down to where we are now in 1992, and the club's just built on from where we, what's the word? Sorry.
Just watch this delivery here from Patrick Yelland, the 4th delivery in Yelland's over. Chris Nyland goes hard and he's got a hold of that one, so that's between mid-wicket and square leg, so good boundary there to relieve a bit of the pressure that was building. So Nyland moves on to 12 and the score moves on to 59 after 8.4 overs. Sorry, Travis.
When we moved here in 92, the council, the Gold Coast City Council, were trying to set up a sports precinct. We're now one of the...
Let's that one go through.
Largest sport precincts in Queensland. We have obviously the cricket grounds, which we have 6 fields. We've got tennis next door. There's a basketball centre, netball courts, the Super Sports Centre at Runaway Bay, which are the Aussie Commonwealth Games track and field team will be training at. Then we've got the rugby league, soccer and athletics all in the same area.
It is a fantastic sporting facility here and it's so well set up.
A lot of people that come here are jealous of what we have on the Gold Coast. Really good infrastructure, the way they've set up club sport on the Gold Coast.
So the score now is 9 overs, 59 for 4.
Good shot from Adam there through the covers, solid as a rock.
It's been solid start here for Adam Hyman, playing to the situation. 12 runs off 16 balls now, so he's been circumspect, but it's going okay. The ball's way up in the air. It's coming down long off throat here. It's dropping well short actually. So Eli Fahey can't get in for that one. Chris Nyland obviously showing a bit more of his intent after a boundary off his previous ball there, not quite getting hold of that.
I think Chris has taken it upon himself for the last over with the wind to actually go after it and try and take advantage of the wind while he's got it.
It's a good ball there. So this is Scott Palombo, the skipper, in his first over. So 3 deliveries bowled for 2 runs so far. What do you know about Scott's bowling, Trev?
Scott's bowling, it's a little bit indifferent at times.
No one seemed aware of it, it seemed. Bit of movement there to beat the bat from... Oh.
Just bowls normally, just back of a length. Likes to hit the seam, and what we just saw then, just move it away, or move it into the right-handers, away to the left-handers.
Hyman gets going a bit there, doesn't fully get hold of it. Eli Fahey comes round it long on, gets it back in for the single. Hyman beginning to show a bit more of his intent there, moves to 13, but it's off 19 balls, so he's struggled to get going so far. But this could work out well for him now, though, Trav, wouldn't you say? The switch of ends and the wind assisting his leg side shots.
Exactly. He'll be looking to go big towards the clubhouse and the car park, and hopefully the wind will be giving it a bit of a push over the boundary.
So that's the halfway point. Side switching ends in last man stands, bowling 10 overs from each end to help get through the overs in a quicker time. Score now 62 for 4 after 10. Adam Hyman, the left-hander, not out on 13, and Chris Nyland also joining him on 13. Chris Nyland, the skipper, and the right-hander. Patrick Yelland, again, continuing his tight start. 2 runs down to extra cover there for Hyman.
Again, very strong through the covers.
So would Patrick normally bowl a 4 over quota, Travis, or?
If I was captain, no. You got to give it to Pat here. He's bowling good lines, good length. The batsman can't get after him.
Absolutely.
Which is very, very unusual for Pat.
So that's 2.2 overs now for Yelland. None for 11 so far. Bowling to Chris Nyland, the wheelback first skipper. Dot ball continues this good spell. 2 balls left in the over here. Nyland 13 off 12. Hyman, the left-hander, 16 off 21. Straight through the batsman there. So it seems like Travis Harker's sledging of the bowler Patrick Yelland is paying dividends here, with Yelland really focusing on his line and length. I don't think you'll hear the end of this sledging the bowler if he ends up.
No, he won't.
Chris Nyland out to deep point there for the single, so that ends another good over there from Patrick Yelland. 3 overs, none for 13 so far. Score moves on to 66 runs after 11. So Travis, tell me what happened with your team this year. So tradies you can't trust, double national champions. They've travelled to Barbados for the World Champs, South Africa for the World Championships, perennially one of the favourites, but not even involved here on finals day this year. So what happened there?
The boys are getting older. They like the reputation of being one of the better drinking sides, and keeping the social standards of the comp going. But I think because they're ageing, it's taken a toll on the cricket and their fitness. And unfortunately we ran out of legs against these young guys yesterday.
Ball's high up in the air there. He's got a top edge, square leg coming in for it. Should be safe here. In the end, takes a very good catch there. Out in the deep.
Good catch. That ball would have been swirling into the breeze there. That's directly into the teeth of it.
It's a very solid catch, and Chris Nyland, the skipper, goes for 14 there. That's a big wicket. So now their 5th wicket down for Will bat first, and only 68 runs on the board. So they're under all kinds of pressure here. Catch there from Eli Fahey out in the deep, so takes his 2nd catch, and he's got fantastic wicket figures of 2 wickets for 18 runs to boot. So brilliant game so far.
Can't keep him out of the game at the moment.
So in the gap between wickets, thanks Travis. Travis got to go off and sort out one of the 101 things that he always does at this club.
Thanks guys.
So joining me in the commentary booth now is Srikanth Nandagam. So Srikanth is one of the most experienced umpires in Australia. He's umpired multiple finals. He'll be involved here umpiring out there later on, but we'll just watch this first delivery from Scott Palombo. So that delivery was first delivery for Josh Densley. So Josh Densley gets off the mark straight up. Palombo in his 2nd over now, figures of 1.2 overs, 1 for 5. Solid start for him. So Srikanth, welcome.
Morning Rob, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No tight ball there from Palombo. So a lot rests here on Adam Hyman. He's now moved on to 17 off to 18. We're coming back for that 2nd. He came in at number 4. He's really where the hopes of Will bat first will lie now, especially with hitting into the hitting with the wind out towards the leg side. So Srikanth, what's your take on this game so far?
I reckon a par score of 150. That'll be a very decent score on a 3rd day pitch.
Well, it's actually effectively a 4th day pitch now, so it's had a lot of usage.
Yesterday, so I would say on a 3rd day pitch. So.
Yesterday was a tough day with the weather here on the Gold Coast. Rain coming throughout the day. Palombo down the leg side again. He's struggling with his lines to the left-hander here. So that's the 2nd wide in the over. So that one's worth 3. So that will take Hyman onto 22. I'll say at this stage, Srikanth, it doesn't look like they're going to get anywhere near that par score that you just mentioned.
No, but again, it's always you got to see both innings to see how the pitch is playing, I guess.
Hyman now moves on to 23. So Palombo ends his 2nd over. Figures of 2 overs, 1 for 12 so far. Adam Hyman beginning to get going now after a slow circumspect starts. He's now 23 off 25 balls. A lot of pressure here on the number 7 to lend some support to the big man. So Josh Densley, not out, 0 off 1 so far.
I always wonder how good home conditions will be for these teams. Obviously, 3 of the 4 teams in the finals are home teams.
Ivan out to deep point. But they're all from around this area. When you say home teams, they are Queensland teams. There's just 2 for the Gold Coast, and then we've got the Brisbane side, second 11. But the second 11 are an institution in last man stands cricket, so the amount of games that they've played here over the years and the finals that they've played out on this pitch, it's effectively almost like a home team. So again, Yelland following the 4th in his spell here. It's been a tight spell so far. That one's 2 down a fine leg though, so Josh Densley will be happy with that. Moves on to 2 runs. And you're in thinking about the next semi-final, Strickant. We'll just watch this ball first here from Patrick Yelland. And just off his legs, moves it down a fine leg. Josh Densley moves on to 3 runs there. So you know both the next sides very well. Second 11, double national champions, Rock Lobsters, 2 finals of the national championships. Yelland just coming in. Ivan beginning to try and go big out to deep mid wicket there, but just gets the single. So what's your take on that next game, Srikanth? Who do you think are the favourites there? Two marquee LMS sides playing.
I'm putting my money on second 11 mainly because they are very experienced in this part of the world. Even the Rock Lobsters, they're always competitive, and it'll be a great semi-finals, I reckon. I'll do a 50-50 at the moment, but slightly favouring the second 11.
2 runs there for Josh Densley. End of the 13th over, score 83 for 5 now. Second 11 have so much experience, that's true. The one important factor though is that Brody Kenyon, who is arguably their best batsman, or certainly one of their most technical batsmen, and a past batsman of the year at the national championships. He tore his quad muscle 2 days ago, so that's potentially hampered their chances.
But still scored 30 off 14 balls yesterday, so it's not stopping him.
So there we go, another loose delivery down towards leg side, trickling away towards the boundary, but quickly round there from Eli Fahey. Great fielder, Eli.
I haven't umpired park cricketers before, but from what I saw, they seem to be a very athletic young team. I got feedback from one of the other teams that their opening bowler I don't remember the name, but apparently is really good.
The one at the opener for today, Joshua Khan.
Not the spinner, but the...
Yeah, he had a very loose first over, so hopefully he makes a strong comeback from that. Scott Palombo, the skipper, in his 3rd over now. On for 16 in his figures. So we'll bat first, just trying to rebuild here. Move on to 88. The score is 13.2 overs now.
A lot more overs to come. So yeah, I reckon 130 is what they should target at least.
Something to bowl at least.
Yeah.
And then you have seen park cricketers lose some early wickets in some of their games so far, so could potentially have that vulnerability. So a bit of poor fielding there, but they'll get away with it. So Adam Hyman moves on now to 29 not out, the left-hander. 31 not out now. It's a very solid innings from Adam, and much needed in this kind of scenario.
Very passionate cricketer, Hyman. Umpired him a couple of days ago. He takes his cricket very seriously. It's another wide.
Wide down the leg side there, a bit of loose bowling from Scott Palombo. So when you say passionate cricketer as an umpire, does that mean that he's...
It puts a lot of pressure on the umpires, I must say. No, he's good. Plays fair.
So if you're picking out a few of the passionate cricketers to look out for today, then Srikanth, who would be your picks to look out for in the semi-finals?
Marty Henderson in second 11. Most of the players from Rock Lobsters are very passionate. It's always been I wouldn't say a challenge, but under pressure umpiring these teams, but nevertheless I enjoy it.
It's the end of the 14th over there. Score moves on to 94 for 5, with Adam Hyman now unbeaten on 35. Scott Palombo 3 overs, 1 for 23. Marty Henderson is the second 11 skipper. He's got over 10,000 LMS runs, so a real LMS institution. But as Srikanth says, he is a passionate cricketer, and I'm glad that the commentary microphone is pointing away from the pitch today, for those of you at home.
I was hoping to see a bit more crowd for this first semi-finals. Probably a bit too early for the boys.
It is. It's pretty early here on the Gold Coast, and Tuesday nights at the Jupiter's Casino is reputed as a big night. So I feel that once it gets through to about 11 o'clock, a bit of a crowd will be coming in. Just a few sore heads probably around the Gold Coast at the moment. Adam Hyman moves on to 36 there with that single, and this is a new bowler who's come on, Tom Watts, in his first over. Wide outside the off stump there from Tom Watts, but it's good running there.
Quick 2 runs.
Putting pressure on the field there, Josh Densley, so he moves on to 8 off 7 now. So they need these extra runs. Will bat first, 95 for 5 in the 15th over. Sorry, 97 for 5 in the 15th over.
130, 140 is achievable, I reckon.
140, I'd certainly give him something as well. That. Keeping it wide outside the off stump here, Tom Watts. Just a single to cover.
Losing the skipper at a crucial time is a big blow. He's a big hitter. He's been a good form this tournament. Chris.
Adam Hyman beginning to try and go big there, and he gets it in the gap between square leg and deep mid wicket. First boundary there for Adam Hyman. It's taken him 33 balls to get his first boundary, but he's managed to keep it ticking. Score now 40 off 33, so that shows that even though he got that slowish start and he was 12 off 19 at one point, it's been a very crucial knock for his side here. Hyman goes deep. Oh, and that's some poor fielding out there in the deep. That's very uncharacteristic there from Park cricketers. Gifts 4 runs to Will bat first. And I'll be handing over now in the commentary booth to Andrew Percy, who's the Sydney manager for Last Man Stands. Andrew, welcome.
Thanks, Rob. It's an exciting point in the game. Seeing how they go in these last 5 overs, now building a total over 100 on 106.
Welcome, Andy.
Thanks, Srikanth.
It's going to be a beautiful day, I reckon.
Yeah.
Hope the rain stays away.
Yeah, the weather's looking a bit more promising than it was yesterday. The Park cricketers were in a similar situation when they opened the bowling in their quarter-final yesterday, and got a few early wickets, and then let tradies you can't trust in a little bit, and they built a total of 120, so it's similar circumstances here, but hopefully Will bat first will put on some more runs to really make a game of it here.
Both teams came out of a tight finish in their previous games.
Yeah, it's interesting with Adam now creeping up to, that should have him on 44, so he'll, 45, sorry. So he'll be very close to retiring, hopefully, if he gets to the 50 there, and the fresh batsman will be coming in for the last few overs.
Andy, I keep hearing during my umpiring days that 15 LMS is as good as getting out.
It
is very true, actually, in most of the circumstances.
Yeah.
Same might be the situation with Andy. Adam reaching his 50 at this crucial time of the innings.
Yeah, it's been an important partnership, really. So only a couple of small starts with, so Adam moving on to 46. Next highest score is the opener with Jordan, who hit 14 earlier, and Chris, the captain, who managed 14 as well. So, and Josh has just joined them on double figures. So it really has been hard going, and Adam's really produced for his team when they've needed him. So 4 overs to go from here, Shrikant. They're on 110. What do you think the revised target should be?
I'm still going for the 140.
Yeah.
I think 140 is a par score on this ground.
Adam just working another single there and rotating the strike. Oh. Wow, looks to be a close chance there.
So far the wicket seems to have played pretty well. I haven't seen any low balls.
That's a big one.
That should be a 4.
Josh starting to get going now. So Josh moves on to 15 off 12 with his first boundary of the innings.
It's good to see both these teams in the semis, considering they were seeded not in the top 10. Always refreshing to see these young players coming through, performing at the big stage.
Absolutely, both certainly surprise packages to be in the semi-finals here.
Oh, and Adam gone.
So it was a crucial knock, but unfortunately didn't get his 50. So that's 47 off 39 balls there for Adam. So that's a huge wicket now. So this will be the last partnership. Wicket there for Tom Watts. So as you were saying there, Shrikant, these two sides were lower seeds. We've got the Park Cricketers were actually the last teams, the 33rd side to enter the tournament this year. They've certainly made a run for it. And we'll bat first. They took down the reigning national champs, Ocean 12, in the round of 16 yesterday, which was a massive shock result.
Ocean 12 is still in shock. This morning I talked to the skipper, and he was not a happy man.
No. Well, it was only 133 that Will Bat First put on for Ocean 12 to chase, and yeah, just a batting collapse cost them dearly there. Oh, goes big. Fielder coming around,
and he's taken
another wicket. So we're going to be down to the last man standing here. So Shafi yet to face a ball, and he's now stranded on his own. So in last man stands, you can only hit 2s, 4s, and 6s. Oh, sorry, that was Shafi's first ball. So we've got Josh still in on 17.
My prediction of 140 looks a bit shaky now. Andy.
Yeah, they're going to struggle to get there from here. And that'll be the end of the innings. So that was some crucial late overs there from Kai Newitt, who ended up picking up 2 wickets for 5 runs off 1.4 overs. So he really cleaned up the tail there. So the final total was 8 for 117 runs off 17.4 deliveries. So what are your thoughts there, Shrikant?
With the wind picking up, I reckon I'm putting my money on
Park Cricketers.
Park Cricketers, yeah. But yeah, let's see how we go, I guess. Park Cricketers have got a pretty decent bowling attack.
Yeah, so we'll bat first. As we mentioned before, took down the Australian champs Ocean 12, or last year's Australian champs Ocean 12 yesterday. So they posted a score of, I think it was 133, and ended up, so obviously not a great total for this comp, but they ended up restricting, or bowling out Ocean 12 for 103 runs. So they can defend a low total, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about it here.
With the wind picking up, I reckon that's going to be crucial. Again, that was a big factor. All those games played on those top fields. It'll be interesting to see how Park Cricketers go about, I guess. But 117, I reckon it's a bit on the low side. Hoping for a tight finish.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, there's been lots of talk about how it's been quite a low scoring Nationals this year, which obviously there are some very good sides out there, but I think it is down to also, as you mentioned, Shrikant, with the win this year, a lot of teams have found that quite difficult, the conditions. But so no real big scores, only a couple of sides getting over that 200 mark. I know there was a huge score with Ocean 12 last year, hitting, what was it, about
160?
Oh no, in the finals, but in the pool rounds last year,
yeah.
I think they hit, was it 340 runs, or it was a lopsided game, of course, but no totals anywhere near that this year.
And it's interesting to note, Park Cricketers were bowling all the slow bowlers today. To take the pace of the ball. Smart cricket, I must say.
Absolutely, and they really they shared it around as well. They had quite a few bowlers interchanging, so the guys really couldn't get used to who they were facing. So good tactics there. I mean, once you get to this level, a lot of the teams will just have their 5 guys who bowl their 4 overs. But the Park Cricketers, everyone but the keeper had an over at least. So
that shows that's a good all-round team, I guess.
Absolutely. Yes, we might have a quick run through of some of the figures that we got. So Jordan Trigger from Will Bat First opened up with 14 off 9, and he opened with Blake Banham, who managed 9 off 5. And then coming in at first drop was Zach Hollis, who managed 3 off 5. Adam Hyman, so he was obviously the standout for the batting side, managed 47 off 39, was out caught late. Jawad Ahmed, he was out LBW, coming from around the wicket, so controversial call that one, but 8 off 4. Chris Nylon, so he was part of that partnership there with Adam, and he managed 14 off 15. Josh Densley was 17 off 16, so he was that last wicket there, and Shafi, was a golden duck for him, unfortunately. And then, running through some of the bowlers, Joshua Cancer, he opened up and, wasn't a pretty start, unfortunately. So they just had the 1 over for him with quite a few wides, which was, so no wickets for 14. Eli, great spell of bowling there. Eli Fahy, so he bowled 4 overs, 2 for 18. Casey Murphy chipped in with a couple of wickets as well, finishing with 2 for 16 off his 2. Patrick Yelland, no wickets but tight bowling, so none for 20 off his 4 overs. The captain, Scott Palumbo, he had 3 overs, managed a wicket, so 1 for 23 for Scott. And Tom was 1 for 18 from his 2 overs for Tom Watts. And as we're talking about already, Kai Newitt really chipped in at the end to clean up the tail, taking 2 for 5 off his 1.4. So, pretty pretty good figures all round for the bowlers, and yeah, not much to report on apart from Adam and having a couple of partnerships with a few guys there going with him.
I haven't seen Park cricketers close up. How is their batting looking, Andy?
So I've been restricted to the clubhouse a lot these last few days, unfortunately. So I haven't actually got out to see the Park cricketers bat yet, but I'm certainly looking forward to it to see how they go. We've got a friend popping over, Dinu.
Hello.
Thanks for coming down.
The pleasure is all mine, and the honour can be yours.
What's the talk at the clubhouse? So 117 runs. What's the general feel?
Looks like an easy stroll.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like an easy stroll. The deck's playing really well.
Yep.
The only thing the opposition is lacking a good player like me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, to restrict them. Otherwise, I think it should be a fairly easy win.
Yeah, so it's quite windy conditions, so it'd be interesting to see, what style they go with their bowling.
I reckon the opposition can do it in singles.
Yeah.
And they probably look at doing that way.
Yeah, just work it around. I mean, that was we've talked already about the Ocean 12 game with Will bat first yesterday, but that was really the mistake there, only chasing 130 and so many dismissals out court. So really, when you've got a low total like this, you just need to work it around. And
I think with the wind as well, the ball tends to hold up.
Yeah.
Especially the first few overs. And then tend to hit it up in the air, and then there's guys waiting to catch it. Should be an interesting chase though.
Yeah, so the guys were making their way out onto the field now.
No matter what the score is, the finals time is always pressure time, and pressure can do lovely things.
Absolutely.
So hope to see a tight game.
Yeah, well, that's right. A couple of early wickets could really turn things around. So they'll be looking to Shafi to bounce back from his golden duck and produce. So he's going to bowl the first over here. We'll have Joshua Can on strike, and the captain Scott Palumbo will be the non-strikers end.
Scott's been on terrific form. I noticed he pulled his team through yesterday again in the quarters, 70 odd.
Yeah, that was a fantastic chase. That was a round of 16 to get them through into the quarters. So he's had a good tournament. I think he's in the top 5 or just outside for batsmen at this tournament so far. So he'll be looking to build on his tournament today.
So Andy, anyone from these two teams potential Australian candidates?
I think Scott would be the best if he can get some runs here at a reasonable strike rate and get themselves through to the final. He'll be sort of there or thereabouts, being just inside or outside that top 5 at the moment. I don't think too many of the other guys were in the mix at this stage. The second semi-final, there are a host of guys who were looking pretty close to securing those spots for the World Series over in London next year. So from this Australia Champs, the top bowler, top batsman and top all-rounder will be selected to represent Australia. So a reasonable start there, just got 3 runs off the 3 balls so far. Both sides will be pretty happy with that start.
They really don't have to be adventurous with the score. They need to chase. I reckon singles and twos should do for them.
Do you think form matters coming into a final?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps for confidence. They've both beaten some pretty highly fancied sides, so I think they'll both be pretty confident. Defending that low total that we've talked about will definitely, the will bat first won't write themselves off, but they're certainly probably about at least 20 runs too short, you would think. But a couple of early wickets here could change it. So that's 5 runs off the first over for Shafi.
I reckon with the guys hitting into the wind, you could bring a couple of guys in just to save a few singles early on.
Yeah, I did notice that with the field. They've got it quite spread out. A lot of guys on the ropes, so not really backing the bowlers there early, not putting a lot of pressure on the batsmen when they just do need to work those singles around, as we discussed. So, yeah, interesting tactics here from Will Bat first to begin the innings.
Very easy singles on offer.
In addition to form, what do you think playing on different types of pitches? So obviously you're playing most of your games on the synthetic surfaces, and all of a sudden you're playing on the turf on those important games. I reckon that makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Yeah, well run too there. Yeah, there has been a mix between the synthetic and the turf grounds, but yeah, I think most of the teams by this stage, they're obviously a very good side, so I've played a bit on turf and just enjoy to be on the main field.
Oh, this is looking too easy.
Looks like Park cricketers have come out with a plan of getting these runs in ones and twos.
Yeah, and
they look very comfortable.
The field set here is really allowing them to do that. So they're just working it around, not looking to play any big shots here. So quite a few just ones and twos. Only the one dot ball to start the innings so far. So they're doing it easy.
Again, the slow bowlers opening the attack, so that seems to be the grand plan for both teams.
Yes, this is Josh Densley here bowling the second over. So he's gone for 7 off his 4 balls so far. Oh, misfield there. Straight back to the bowler, through his legs. So that'll be a single to end the over. So now 2 overs, none for 13. So it looks like Shafi will be coming back on to bowl the second over after going for 5 in the first.
Facilities in this part of the world have been awesome, especially the drainage system in these grounds. It's just really good. Even though it's been raining regularly the last few days, it's a close call.
An appeal for LBW there, turned down. But yeah, as you mentioned, Shrikant, the drainage, it's been a challenging couple of days, especially yesterday. So there was some rain on the first day on Sunday morning, but we got lucky after that. But yesterday we were on and off in the morning, but with the help of the ground staff and some quality drainage, we were able to get on and get all the games happening in the afternoon. So a bit of a delayed start, but because the facilities are so good here, we've been able to still hold the full tournament.
Firm drive for a single.
So another single. So really has been an impressive start here by the Park cricketers. Not playing any rash shots. They've only the 1 dot ball so far, so they're managing just to work it around. Quite a few 2s they've hit so far, and just picked up a lot of singles to help that cause. So they're now number 17 with 1 ball left in the 3rd over.
So Andy, what's the prize for the winner in this comp?
Yeah, so this year it's $10,000 that goes towards the team entering the next World Champs, so which are going to be in Australia, but the venue to be confirmed at this stage. But yeah, so top prize, obviously a lot of money to help with those flights and accommodation and travel costs. So a lot to play for these last 4 sides.
So next World Champs in Australia.
Yeah, so venue to be confirmed, but yeah, it's all very exciting. So yeah, Travis has just come back over and he's
put his hand up
for Runaway Bay.
Tournament.
So yeah, that'll be 2019. So yeah, a lot of the guys here are excited, and
Travis has promised to put some floodlights as well, so we'll have a grand final, yeah, as well.
Right, so that's a dot ball, first one we've seen in a while. Just come out of his crease, but just worked around for another single there.
Certainly come up with a plan, and it's working for them at the moment.
Absolutely. So they're pushing the running here. This will be another 2. It's fair to say the bowling's been reasonable. They haven't bowled any poor deliveries at this stage, but it really just seeing this field setting. It's with a low total. They are spread out and just allowing the park cricketers to work the total down. And there we go, reverse sweep.
Another easy 2.
Another 2, yeah.
Travis has come back to do another stint at the commentary box, so I'll hand it over to Travis. Travis, welcome back.
Good to see you again, Travis.
Yes, Andrew, thank you. Welcome back.
So what's your take on it so far? So after 4 overs now, none for 24, chasing that 117 set by Will bat first.
2 different game styles here. Will bat first, you can see that they're just trying to, when they batted, was just trying to take easy 6s and 4s,
yep, and
just take singles, where the park cricketers, who are actually some young class cricketers, are actually running hard between the wickets, and that's how they win most of their games.
Right. So 2 Gold Coast sides here. You'd be happy to see that in the semi-final. So you'll have at least 1 Gold Coast side in the final here.
It's actually really good. It actually shows how strong the local competition is. We have some really good young teams and some good old cricketers running around that make it a pretty strong competition. The park cricketers won the winter one, and the Will bat first actually won the spring tournament as well. So both seasoned campaigners when it comes to last man stands.
So it'll just be another single here. So it's been a change of bowler. Captain Chris Nylon's come on for his first over. So Travis, we were talking a little earlier about how there's been quite a few low scores at the Nationals this year, certainly in comparison to last year and maybe years gone by. What do you put that down to?
I think the weather's had a lot to do with it. Obviously with the Syntho pitches, it's been a little bit greasy, favouring the bowlers. The turf cricket, it varies, the turf cricket every year, depending on how the players take it. I think a lot of guys choke up a little bit or are nervous and try to actually play like batsmen when they're not actually proper batsmen. They should be just going out to slog it.
we saw one of the bigger totals for the tournament actually posted here on the turf, which was the next semi-final, second 11, posted a 200 plus score. But apart from that, there haven't been too many 200 plus scores at the tournament so far. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Big hitting coming in the second semi-final with both Rock Lobsters in the second 11 batting deep and having some guys who can clear the rope. So it could be a very different score in the next one.
Yeah, I hope so. It's funny, I think a lot of people, cause there's a bit of wind around, and it has been for the last few days. We're talking 20, 30 knots coming from the south. And I think a lot of guys get sucked into actually trying to hit the ball over the boundary and use the wind, where if they don't quite get it, they're getting caught out.
So this is Adam Hyman coming on for his first over. Dot ball to start.
Good shape there straight away from Adam. He's probably the pick of the bowlers, will bat first. Can swing it both ways and use the deck as well.
And that's a wicket. First big shot they've gone for. It's caught down there on the boundary. So Adam really has kept them in this game after nearly getting 47 runs. So obviously the bulk of the runs there for Will bat first, and now coming on with a dot ball on a wicket.
Big wicket. Josh is the Parky's danger man. He can club it. It's not much of him, but he hits a very long ball. Very unusual to see him get caught out on the offside. He usually plays across the line, caught a cow or clears cow. So
yeah, so we've got the new batsman coming in here, Patrick Yelland, who had a pretty good day with the ball. Didn't get any wickets, but only went for 20 runs from his 4 overs.
Patrick's the oldest in the side of the Parkies. He's a class batsman. He's got all the shots, he's got all the power, and he's even got some of the new style shots with the ramps and the reverse sweeps. Be interesting to see how he goes about it. Sometimes he actually outthinks himself. He's not the smartest of lads either, which isn't very hard to outthink himself.
So he's just worked a single there to get himself off the mark. So Scott's still in, so he's 16 off 14, so he's been the best batsman for the Park cricketers so far this tournament. So I think he'll be looking to be there at the end today.
Well bowled Adam. That annoying line just outside off stump. A little bit of a decking away. Scott really is a class batsman for a young bloke. He's 17. He's been in the Queensland under 19s development squad this winter.
So that's the end of the 6th over there. So it's now 1 for 31, chasing 117. And we've got Dino who's going to come in for a stint at the commentary. Hand it over now. Welcome, Dino.
That's going up. There we go.
Welcome, Dino.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I was quite impressed by the very sensible batting that I'm seeing here. You know what I think? The spinners have come on, tempting the batsman to hit into the wind. They haven't taken the bait. Just one guy holding out. Otherwise, it's been really sensible. They've played the gaps. They're really playing the game here.
It's actually quite uncommon to see in last man stands. Usually the batsmen aren't that smart, so it's going to be interesting to see how this keeps going.
If it keeps going at this rate, they'll be well on their way to winning this game, I reckon. and the turn of overs that are hitting with the wind.
Yes.
That's a big factor here. Batsmen are going technically at a run of ball. Nothing too dramatic. They're running really well between wickets.
Some good shape on the ball there from Chris Nyland, swinging the ball in. Mixes his pace up very well as well. And in comes the Bay Doctor. The wind just picked up another 10 knots.
Is that what you call here? Bay Doctor. Any rain to watch out for today, Travis?
The way the week's going, of course there is. It's rained nearly every day. It's rained every night.
Well, we've been lucky, yeah. We managed to get through most of the games unscathed. There's a bit of a delay yesterday, but otherwise we've been well on top of things.
It's the beauty of the grounds here at the Runaway Bay Cricket Club. They do drain very well. Whether or not it's they're sand based or it's the car bodies underneath it, being the old tip side. It's once the rain stops, usually you can get straight back out and play.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Travis.
It was for me until you sat down next to me here.
I was going to say the same thing. I would have wished it to someone else, but you know what? We can only play the ball that's bowled at us.
Exactly.
Alright, more spin.
This is Adam. He's bowling medium pace.
Oh.
Trying to shape the ball in the air there.
That was gentle. That's well run again. How's that? Nope. That was well run. Good too. Where does that put them now?
Very quick between the wickets, Scotties.
37 for 1 after 7 overs. Another 80 to go in 13. Jeez, the wind is picking up.
We have been called Blowaway Bay for years as well, so it's we do get a fair bit of wind here.
Oh, it's a good ball. Fishing outside off. You surprised that either of these teams made it this far at all, Travis, or you expected them to come this far?
I expected all the coast sides to do well. Obviously the tradies got knocked out late yesterday afternoon, but the park cricketers, as I said, are all young class cricketers, and you know what, they'll take some beating, I think. We'll bat first. They've got some very good cricketers in there as well, but they take it very serious as well.
I was thinking you might have forgotten what it was like when you were young, what it's like to be young. Surprised.
Thanks, Dina, for reminding me how old and sore and fat I am.
There we go. He's going for the big one. Didn't connect. Oh, that's running away. Coming back for 2. No, settle for 1. That is 1 to come in this over.
It's unusual for Scotty to miss hit like that. That's his favourite shot. He's got a very good bat.
How's that? Again.
Another good ball from Adam.
He's getting the ball to do things outside off, I reckon. It's getting that bit to go away. What do we have here? 41 after 8. That was a good over, just 4 off. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 5.
I think we'll bat first and making a move, trying to make a move here, tie him up, trying to take some wickets before the change of ends, and then obviously the young boys will be flexing their muscles with the wind.
Scoreboard pressure. What are we? 2 to come before we turn over. Easy single down to long on again. I'd bring the long on and the long off up. Tempt them to go over and see what they got.
It's not a bad idea, do you know?
I'm full of good ideas, mate.
Oh, not normally.
They're quick in the field, these boys.
That's Blake Barham over there. He is quick. I don't think quite as quick as some of the Parkies.
That's played into the gap. That could go. That could. Oh, beautifully. Oh, that's a pity.
The desperation there.
I thought he had it covered and then kicked it over.
It's very unusual to see Scotty play a classic cover drive like that. Usually he's trying to hit it over mid-wicket.
Oh, that's beautifully played behind square. Quite little single. Such a small total, every boundary really makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes. But sometimes the smallest totals are the hardest ones to chase.
Dot ball.
Chris taking the pace off the ball there with one of his slower balls. Or being on the turf, sometimes taking the pace off makes the ball very hard to hit.
Right, we've got 48 for 1 after 9. 11 big overs for the place in the finals. We've got an LMS stalwart, Dr. Anthony James Johnston, joining us in the sheds, keenly looking over proceedings.
The unfortunate thing is we could smell him about 5 metres away.
Even with the Bay Doctor blowing it away. Right, could be another. Oh, that's beautifully bowled. Beautifully bowled. Tempted him.
Adams bowling a very good spell here. Looks like Scotty Palumbo's actually decided he's going to kick it into gear and look bigger.
This is what dot balls does, doesn't it? Oh, that's another beauty. Shape to go away, and then
he's got the ball talking, hasn't he?
It is talking. It's talking pretty loud too.
Very good bowling action. Holds the seam upright the whole way down, giving it every chance to do its thing off the pitch.
Oh, another one, play and miss. Oh, he's called it a wide.
You can definitely see a bit more intent in the way Scotty's going about it now with the bat. He's had enough, I think. He wants to end it.
They need just about 6-7 runs and over.
Which is quite funny. He's actually turned. He's only got to wait one more over, and he's got the wind.
That's played fine. They're looking for 2. They're looking for 2. Nope. No. Well done. Talking about the pitch, Travis. How much work's gone into this?
A lot of work, actually. It's we've had to prepare 2 wickets this week. You can see the pitch to the left from the northern end is the one the club's playing on Saturday. So the curators and his assistant were busy last week trying to get the 2 pitches up. I think there's roughly been around somewhere between 10 and 12 hours into this pitch. You have to do a little bit of extra work on this pitch, seeing it has to last for 4 days. As you can see at the moment, it's still playing pretty well. Could be a little bit slower than what it was on the first day, but that's a 4-day pitch for you.
That's playing very well for a 4-day pitch. Still sitting up nicely. Oh, it's reversed it. Oh, straight to third man.
There's one of those inventive shots from Pat there. Probably would have been better off trying to look square leg. There's no one there.
Bowler's not impressed.
I wouldn't be either.
But you go for a lot more than that normally. Oh. I reckon guys can blindfold it when they face you.
Actually, I've been whacked by Patrick a couple of times for 6 on his reverse sweeps. If he starts hitting them pretty well, it's pretty hard to actually do anything as a bowler.
Alright, there we go. 10 overs gone. 53 for 1. And the wind is dying. Sorry. So what do they need? 47, 64 off 10.
Be interesting to see what tactic the first guys will take here. Will they persist with the slower bowlers now that the Parkies are hitting with the wind?
Do they have any weapons up their sleeve?
They've got some pretty big hitters come in, even though they've got young blokes. But these are probably the two bigger hitters in the side. Be interesting to see how they go about it. Patrick's known for hitting the ball very hard, very straight, where Scott's more the cow corner slog.
All right, the ball. Good start to the set.
Chris there, again mixing up his pace and his shape in the air.
You've sat through more games here than I have. 120, a good score for evenly matched teams.
You know what? It's funny when there's a little bit of pressure on the line. 120 can be a difficult total to get because you're thinking in your head that you've got to respect the bowler and not get out, and that's usually when wickets happen. If batsmen go out there playing their own game, it's usually a lot easier.
Oh, inside edge. Looking for two, should get two comfortably.
Easy two in the end.
It's quite intelligent bowling as well. He's not giving him that leverage into the leg side, keeping it fifth, sixth stump outside off.
Got away with one there, Scott. Leading edge out to cover. You can see Scott's demeanour now. He's starting to get frustrated out there. He just wants to belt it.
He's been up there now.
Another good over by Chris, the captain.
He's Scott's on 31 off 28. He must be feeling the pinch.
He'd be happy with that scoring rate on a Saturday, I think. But being in the final at last man stands, you think he'd be trying to get a bit more of a wriggle on.
57. That's about 61 to win. This is his last over? Yes, it is. Oh, it's a wide. That's a wide. He's taking his time to adjust to this end.
It's funny how the change of ends can sometimes upset the bowler's line and length.
That is in. Oh, that's going to fall short. No man's land. You're looking for two? No, no two. Again, it was a leading edge.
Scott's made his mind up. He's going big, I think.
They've got wickets in hand. It wouldn't hurt.
We saw yesterday with the park cricketers chasing a small total yesterday afternoon, and they put a fair bit of pressure on themselves.
Oh, that's an overthrow. That's silly. That's untidy.
That's pretty sloppy. It's not much point throwing the ball to the middle of the wicket.
Have you seen any really big sixes this week?
The first day there were some big sixes out here. They were going over the top of the side screens.
And I bet you were bowling.
No, unfortunately this year I didn't get a game out here, which I thought I was robbed, seeing it's my home ground. But anyway, I'll bring that up with the LMS board after the tournament's over.
Oh, I reckon they didn't want to embarrass you, Trav.
That's not a bad point either.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
Well
nicely
bowled
bowled.
again.
Oh, that should be two. Oh, that's beautifully played. Softly.
You can just see the difference in the two batting concepts between the two sides.
It's by far the most expensive over he's bowled. This is last, and that's another wide. That's costly. One ball to go. Oh, that's the over. Yeah, sorry, that was the second wide.
Another decent over from Adam.
By his standards, a bit big.
Looks like the young guy's coming on to bowl. Zach Wallace. Interesting to see how he goes here. He likes to sling him down.
Is he quick?
He's not bad for a 15-year-old or 16-year-old. Let's just see if he can bowl smart enough.
Go, buddy, come on, mate. You know what to do. Move in front.
Is he best friends with your grandkids?
No. I'm hopefully not that old to have grandkids yet.
All right. Oh, that's swung a mile.
That's gone in there, hasn't it?
That's come back a long way. The batsman's a bit bemused.
Dad's got two. Jackie's got two.
What do we have? 68 after 12.1. Dot ball.
Every dot's building a little bit of pressure here. These two batsmen have been in for a while. You want to get one or two new batsmen in there to slow it down again. I think everybody can save their legs there.
Beautifully played.
Very strong off his toes.
That boundary will help. What do they need? 46? 47? Can I count?
You can't count or read, Dino. Scotty has now moved to 42 off 34 balls.
Circle. That's another dot ball.
He's lucky to get away with the wide there. Pushing the boundaries there. That's not a bad way to bowl to Scott. Bowl anything near the stumps or at his legs and it usually travels.
There we go.
Well, the way Scotty's batting today, he looks like he's had a very big night at schoolies. It doesn't look like he can handle what he got up to last night. I think he must have had a couple of beers.
All right, that's the end of the over. 73 for 1, 7 to come, and I'm gonna hand over to the great man, Anthony Johnson.
Thanks very much, Dino. Good to be here. Trav, good morning. How are you?
Welcome, AJ.
Always good to be here on the Gold Coast, Runaway Bay, Last Man Stands finals. So we're poised a bit here. They're not. No one's really dominating, are they?
Yeah, they're
73 for 1 after 13 overs. 7 overs to go. They need to lift the run rate a little bit. 6.4 an over required. They're only going up 5.6.
I haven't seen him either.
A couple of wickets would certainly shake things up a bit.
Jarvis come on to bowl.
It's coming on to bowl.
Well run again by the Parkies.
They don't really look to be troubled too much, do they? They're just not really scoring quite quick enough. But maybe they're not too worried. Do you think?
I think they're just trying to keep a few wickets in the bank towards the end, and then
Yeah.
if things get a bit close, they can actually have a fair dip at it.
It's a good shot for one.
I think Scott's disappointed that he didn't send that over the top of the clubhouse over there then. I was actually having a chat to Scott yesterday. He broke his favourite bat on Sunday. I So he's got a new blade out.
Just works it away onto the leg side again for another single.
It's like a little bit of a tug of war at the moment.
Yeah.
It's each team's just waiting for one team to make a mistake.
The boys look to be opening the shoulders a bit now, though. They seem to be well aware of the match situation.
Square drive by Scotty, goes to the boundary.
Scotty moves on to,
That's his
that's
50.
50 off 39 balls.
This will be one of his slowest 50s he's ever made in last man stands, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not an easy ground to score quick runs on, though. He's done well. Scores 81 for 1 after 13.4. And the required run rate has dropped below 6, so that's been quite a good over.
And a little bit of insurances too, with a retired batsman in the bank.
It's always good to have that, actually. You know that there's basically an extra wicket involved. So who's coming to the crease now?
Eli.
What do we know about Eli?
He was the star of the bowling in the Will Bat first innings, taking two wickets for not many runs off his 4.
Okay.
Surprisingly, he usually gets pasted everywhere.
All right.
Actually, one of the players just had a laugh.
Acknowledgement from the players there. Well, first ball signals his intent. Puts it away. Only the single though. And that looks like that'll be the end of the over. 82 runs. So we need 36 from 30 balls, just over a run a ball, which they've been doing quite easy for this. So you would have to think that they're in the box seat.
You'd think so, but if they get 1 or 2 more wickets, and you never know what could happen.
Pressure's
A couple of good spells of bowling, a couple of good overs.
Pressure's a funny thing. We've seen it many times. People start to choke.
You just don't want to see that the balls remaining, and runs remaining be doubled. That's when it gets a little bit nervous for the players.
Oh, he's bowled him. Well, that's going to... It could change things. That'll get the wheel bat first. Bit of hope here. It's a good ball. So that's from Zach. So he's into his second over, 1 for 5. Bowling quite well.
And Eli just taking a big shuffle across the wicket, trying to get it down fine where there's no fielders. Taking a risk and then paid the price.
Paid the price indeed. Coming in next, we know who's coming in next.
No, I can't see any movement over there yet. It looks like the Parky's having a bit of a snooze.
36 from 29, so if we get another couple of wickets, as you were saying, could really build some pressure.
Could be very interesting to see how they go about it.
Who's this coming in? Kai Newitt.
Kai Newitt. Young bloke, plays local first grade on the Gold Coast, the Broadbeach Cricket Club.
All right, well, we'd have to think he knows what he's doing with the bat then. The breeze is just picking up again, so this could help the bowlers, but it'll also help the batters. If it gets it into the air, it's going to go a long way.
Big wicket by the Will Bat first, guys. Big wicket. Interesting to see what the Parkies, how they react from this.
Oh, it's quite a bit of swing there. Leg side wide.
Geez, you don't mind that first ball.
Settle the nerves.
Get to see the ball. It's nowhere near. No danger of getting out.
Of course, in last man stands, it goes to the batsman, so he's not going to get a duck. So that's always good for a batsman. Good feeling to have.
It actually helps me out most games, eh?
Yeah. Good ball. Worked the wind of the offside.
Big Zach is using this wind to his advantage. He's bowling. Looks like he's trying to bowl big hooping in swingers here.
We're back to Patrick here. He's on 16 off 19. bowlers head for one. So they're just really working it around still. They're not panicking.
Very cautious Adam fielding the ball. Didn't want to stuff up in front of the camera there.
Another single. So 85 for 2. Couple of balls to go, or one ball to go. So looking ahead to the next game, we'll just in a moment. That'll be another single. Close out the over. 87 for 2 after 15 overs, 5 overs to go. 31 required from 25 balls. We'll take a good effort here from where we'll bat first to keep them.
This game looks like going right down to the wire unless one of these teams decide to do something a little bit different here. From the Parkers, you don't want it to go right down to the wire. You don't want to take that risk of needing runs off the last ball.
That's right, yeah. Yourself in the distance, the second 11 warming up. Rock lobsters behind the keeper. You looking forward to this game?
Yeah, I am actually. It'll be interesting to see how they go. They're both very emotional sides, so there should be a little bit of fire in the belly out there.
Passion from both teams. Just building a fence here, aren't they? 1-1-1-1-1. I think we'll see a few more 6s and 4s from in the next game. Some very big hitters coming. A lot of swings. It'd be hard to get that out.
Shafi's one of the best bowlers on the Gold Coast in the summer comp. Loves his cricket. For Shafi to go up for an appeal, it's not very uncommon. Patrick got that one a little bit better. He looks like he's starting to try and turn up the gears as well.
Yeah, sort of coasting along, but yeah, a few dot balls. Trouble. That's another wide down the leg side.
It's funny with these balls. Some bowlers they get a bit greedy with the swing. Yeah. They tend to swing a bit more with the breeze.
Two-piece ball's going to swing a bit anyway, and then the breeze is just really pushing it right across. It's gone between the batter and the stumps.
By going down there.
Missed everything.
Old Symbol's trigger. Is that a shocker there?
A trigger, so just maybe tell the viewers how Trigger got his name.
I was actually the one that gave him his name. He was umpiring a lot of cricket on the Gold Coast for Last Man Stands, and he was still young, and you hit someone on the pads, he normally gave him out. So hence the nickname Trigger, and it stuck with him.
Like an LBW, I think everyone knows him as Trigger. So that's 2 off the last ball of that over. So that takes us down to requiring 24 runs from 20 balls. Very durable. But you'd really like, if you were in the sheds, you'd really like them to crack a couple of 4s and just take the pressure away, wouldn't you? But it doesn't look like they're going to do that.
A little bit of a conference here in front of us between the captain and vice captain. Making plans of how they're going to go about it. Be interesting to see if they've made the right decision, but
time will tell. Swing and a miss.
Zach holding his line and length there.
Miss. Good ball from Zach. 2 overs, 1 for 10 so far.
He's always got a bad over in him. He's always got a couple of bad balls in him. It'll be interesting to see when they're starting to come out.
Well, they certainly don't want it now. This is not the time to produce that. A few fielding changes. Going down leg side again. A lot of movement in the air.
I'm actually quite surprised how the Parkies are actually going about this run chase. I thought they would have gone out there a little bit more positive.
Have they played a lot of last man stands? Or maybe they're taking their grade cricket into this game?
They're actually new to last man stands in the last 12 months, but they
played enough though. Here
yep.
we go. This could be a catch.
Oh.
No, it's cleared the rope. That's a 6. That'll help everyone.
There's Paddy taking it upon himself. He's going to do it himself by the looks of it.
So that's good. So that takes us down to 17 from 17 balls.
Only just butted.
Yeah.
Nearly hold out to Adam down there on the boundary. Diving effort.
Looking for 2, running hard. No, they're not going to get that.
Good answer there from Zach. Digging it into the block hole, making sure he doesn't travel the distance again. It's actually unusual to see him thinking about his bowling.
Clever bowling. 1 ball left in this over.
Single.
15 required. Run a ball. Certainly pushing it down to the wire.
Parkies have actually got their run rate above what's required now. Only need 5 and over, so it's basically no risk cricket.
No risk cricket. Who would you want to be? Would you want to be batting or bowling at this stage?
Well, if I was batting, we'd be in a bit of trouble.
So depends who's got the bat in
if
hand.
If we were bowling,
if you were bowling, would you?
I'd probably back myself.
Back yourself,
but
yeah.
It has backfired a lot of times as well. So be interesting to see, especially with the wind. It only takes 2 or 3 balls, and they travel the distance.
Of course, with the last man stands rule, of you can hit the last ball for 6. It's worth 12, so they only need a couple more runs to be.
And we can see Patrick out there. He's practicing his slog sweep there, so it's going to be interesting to see what he tries and does here.
I think they'd surely be looking to try and finish it off the next.
They've brought a spinner on here. This could be interesting. They're either going to get a wicket or they might travel for a few runs here. Will bat first, taking a gamble. This will be interesting.
Brave call. For 1.
Good start by the bowler, but Patrick's a danger man here. 29 off 26 he is.
Adjustments to the field. Looking to get it right here.
I don't think Pat's looking where the fielders are. I think he's actually picking a target to hit.
Oh, that's a wide. A bit of a show of intent there from Patrick, though. He was looking to wind up, I think. This could go over the rope. He's given him. He's out. LBW. That's a big wicket. That's a big wicket. Well,
big wicket.
Looked fairly plumb, I think, from here. We're a long way away. Bit of an angle, but
Patrick doesn't look happy with the decision.
Hit him on the full. Well, has the gamble paid off?
It's looking like that.
So far.
Big statement. It was that tug of war we were talking about. He was going to break first, and
this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting.
1 or 2 more wickets, and the Parkies might shut up shop.
That's right. It's still 13 required from 13 balls. Still that runner ball. New batsman to the crease.
Casey Murphy hit the winning runs yesterday in one of their final games. I think it was quarterfinals or semi-finals.
Quarterfinals yesterday.
Needed 2 off the last ball. He managed to belt it down the boundary of a straight drive for 4.
Right.
We'll bat first there with a long confidence of what they're going to do.
This is what it all comes down to, isn't it? That's what everyone's come here for. Try and get through to the main game.
That's costly at this stage of the game.
Another wide, just pushing it outside off there. Pushed it a bit far. Obviously doesn't want to drift onto the pads. It's a single. So that was actually...
Hey, we've got a run out.
He's got a run out. Well,
very good hard throw from Java down there at third man. Jordan didn't have to move too much. He's basically over the top of the stumps. Who have you got walking out the bat now?
Is it Tom Watts?
Tom Watts. I'm lucky to play cricket with Tom. 15-year-old.
Wow.
He is a little boy from the country up north. Lives on property. He's a boarder at the TSS school. Very good cricketer for his age.
Well, they're needing 9 from 11. One ball to go in this over. And they've got a couple of wickets this over, so Will Bat would be feeling confident.
Doesn't lack any confidence, young Tom. He's a bushboy. He's a farmer. Lives on the farm up. Well, I think he's only from a small town of 300 people.
Oh, right.
He lives on his father's got a farm with about 87,000 acres.
That's great.
He's a dead set redneck. Interesting to see what he does here. He got a first baller against me yesterday, so.
Not liking the spin then.
He's away.
Did that with ease.
Straight in the gap.
They're looking for 2. They're coming back.
Not concerned about the run out.
Good running there. So, down to 2 overs remaining. Need 7 runs to win. 1 new batsman at the crease. Kai's been here for a little bit. He's got 8 of 11. He's not really setting the world on fire, but they're doing just enough. They're hanging in there. 7 runs of 2 overs. You would have to think they'd get it home from here.
The wides were costly in that over.
It was costly.
The first wide you can sort of live with, but the second wide, that's 3 runs. That's sort
3
of,
runs.
Especially straight after a wicket.
Giving away 4 runs, 4 free runs there. That's not good. 2 wickets in the over, but 4 free runs.
Going to the strike weapon Shafi here.
Shafi 3 overs, none for 15. He's going to want to produce something special here. Nudges it out to cover, and they're going to come back for 2. That's good running.
Easy 2.
Run the first one hard.
That's been the difference between the two sides. In a low-scoring game, the Parkies have just ran harder between the wickets.
It's very important. Important to run that first one hard. Pressure on the field for the second. You're in the pads, it's obviously going down leg.
Dot ball, very important.
The ball's valuable. Only 5 runs required. They could finish it in 1 shot here, but I don't think they're going to do that.
They need about 6 more dot balls or a couple of wickets.
Well, that's a well-run single. Takes the pressure off again. 4 required.
Looks like they've brought the field in as well. He's got the opportunity to go over the top.
Just pushes it out to cover for 1. That's the way they've been playing the whole game. I think that's the way they're going to finish it out.
Another dot ball.
1 ball left in this over. No, that's the end of the over actually. So 3 runs required from the last over, and who's going to bowl it?
Who's got the lucky privilege of bowling the last one? Either to be the hero or the villain.
Well, it's a tough gig. You wouldn't expect him to be the villain. You couldn't paint him as the villain.
There's always got to be someone blamed to lose a game, but
it's a hero opportunity, I think, here.
It looks like they're going to the young bloke, Zach, 15-year-old.
That's We're getting quite a lot of young players in last man stands now. A couple of 15-year-olds, or 15-year-old at crease, 15-year-old about to bowl.
It's actually interesting. I think the field needs to come up a bit more. They're giving away with singles. I think they've got to try and squeeze them and force a bit of pressure on them, try and hit them over the top and snare a wicket that way.
That's right. Well, they've just been pushing it out to cover there for a single every time, so it's a bit of a waste out there.
Oh, the pressure mounts, the young
Here
fella.
it goes. Hands tighten up just a little bit.
3 or 4 balls.
Heart goes, mouth a bit dry. Not a worry. That'll be 4 runs by the looks of it. Yep.
Young Tom Watts has hit a boundary.
Well composed, Tom Watts finishes the game.
Parky's into the final.
Cricket's into the final. Well, I don't know that anyone really saw that coming.
I had a
At the
fair
start of the
idea.
tournament?
I kept
You
them in
thought
my.
so?
I kept
Yeah.
them up my sleeve.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give them too much information.
No one really knew about them. So they're first team into the final. 2017 Australian Champs final. Park cricketers, young guys from the Gold Coast. Good to see.
Great effort from the Will Bat first guys too, making it this far in the competition. It's good to see a Gold Coast team back in the final. It's been a couple of years since it's happened.
A couple of years, yep. The Tradies the last team to make the final.
Everybody shaking hands there, big cuddles as well. They all know each other, all played each other against each other a lot.
Yeah, well, I'd say the Will Bat first will stick around and give them plenty of support in the final.
Well, a little bit of grief. Which one? I don't know
A little bit
yet.
of grief maybe. But so we've got the next game coming up soon.
Well done, boys.
Second 11 versus the Rock Lobsters. Thanks, Travis, for filling in on the commentary here. And also our other co-commentators, Dinu, and I think Andy Percy was involved earlier, so that's good. So we'll be back in a few moments for the second 11 versus the Rock Lobsters.
Thank you. Been a pleasure.